Anyone fascinated by the natural world has probably wondered why some animals have such strange-looking sense organs. The elephant with its huge ears. The antennae of a butterfly, which up close look like feathers. The snake with its split tongue. And what about less obvious enhancements, like the sensory cells on a crocodile's skin? Surely these evolutionary traits aren't just for decoration. In fact, the size, shape, and location of these animal sense organs is all for a purpose. And just like us, animals rely on their senses to communicate with each other, find their way around, stay safe, and most importantly, to find food. When you see how superior some animal senses are compared to those of humans, you might wonder how we ever managed to stay on top of the food chain. Animal super senses. You won't believe what's possible. When the sun sets, the animal kingdom swaps shifts. Day workers go to sleep, while others get active. This is the night shift. And nocturnal animals have taken to this dark world for good reason. They escape from predators, avoid the heat of the day, and take their turn sharing food and resources in their niche. But to navigate life in the dark, you need some special abilities to cope with the lack of light. In this episode of Animal Super Senses, we find out more about the animals that live in the shadows and the adaptations they need to survive. Eyes rely on light, so it may come as a surprise to learn that some nocturnal animals depend on a great deal of their sense of sight to operate in the darkness. Having large eyes helps to compensate for low light levels. The ringtailed possum is an Australian marsupial that spends the night feeding on leaves, flowers, and buds. They live life in the trees. An agile climber with claws on the hands and feet, including thumbs that help it to leap from branch to branch. And a strong prehensile tail that acts like a fifth limb. With large eyes, the possum has superb night vision. Although not a predator, the eyes face forward, providing binocular vision and depth perception, useful for judging distances when jumping through the trees. Gliders are a type of possum, and like the ringtailed, they are forest dwellers. But instead of climbing from tree to tree, these possums do as their name suggests, glide. A thin membrane attached between their ankle and wrist helps them to fly. Sugar gliders gnaw through the bark of eucalyptus and acacia trees to get the sap and gum underneath. In spring and summer, they boost their diet with insects. To search for food, they fling themselves from one trunk to the next in the pitch black. So it helps a great deal for gliders to have excellent night vision. They are outfitted with huge, bulging eyes. But that's not all. Experts think their widely spaced eyes allow them to triangulate distance and prepare them for gliding to the next food source. But the prize for the biggest eyes goes to a strange-looking creature that lives beyond Australia's northern boundaries. Tarsiers are tiny primates found in the jungles of Southeast Asia. Their eyes are so large that one eyeball is bigger than its brain. Foraging at night, large eyes help the retina to collect more light. Gremlin-like and entirely carnivorous, they eat a variety of insects, pouncing on them using powerful hind legs from their treetop perches. Long, spindly fingers help them cling to trees and can be used as a kind of cage to trap prey in the forest night. Their forward-facing saucer eyes can't move in their sockets and take up half of their skull. Because of this, thanks to specially adapted vertebrae, Tarsiers have an owl-like ability to turn their heads 180 degrees in each direction. This gives them a very wide field of vision, keeping an eye out for both prey and predators. The Tarsier has the biggest eyes in relation to their body size of any mammal. If human eyes were as big, they would be the size of grapefruits. Tarsiers also have excellent hearing, with thin, mobile ears that can be unfurled and retracted as needed. They can easily pick up the sounds of scurrying insects. It's Gizmo's ability to detect and grab prey at night, using its phenomenal senses, that is the key to its success. But unusually, they don't have one ability that is common amongst nocturnal animals. When you look out into the darkness, it can be somewhat alarming to see eyes glowing back at you. The eerie twinkling is produced by nocturnal animals. Cats' eyes shine when caught in the glare of a torch or headlight. Tarsier's eyes don't. There is a layer of reflective cells at the back of the eye, behind the retina, known as the tapetum. This layer bounces photons of light back, giving the eye's sensory cells a second chance at absorbing the rays. Pigments in the retina affect the color of the reflected light. Not all nocturnal creatures have good eyesight. Bilbies are desert-dwelling marsupials from Central Australia. They avoid the heat of the day by being active at night. Also known as the rabbit-eared bandicoot, as the name suggests, the bilby has huge outer ears, all the better to hear with. They have a large pinnae, or external ear, that helps to funnel sound to the inner ear and gives the bilby its excellent sense of hearing. The bilby's big ears are hairless and thought to be useful for regulating body temperature. They are also flexible and can be rotated, held flat against the body, stuck out, or even folded in half. Bilbies aren't fussy when it comes to food. Helped by a long pointy nose with an excellent sense of smell, they forage for subterranean insects, bulbs, seeds, and fungi by digging through the soil with powerful limbs and foreclaws. It's thought they have such long ears so that when bilbies are digging deep, a portion of it remains above the ground to keep an ear out for predators. Perfectly adapted for arid conditions, they don't drink water but get all the fluids they need from food. By day, the bilby sleeps in deep, spiral burrows, which can be dug 2 meters into the ground. This protects them from the heat and daytime predators. In the arid Sonoran region of North America, another desert dweller, the kangaroo rat, goes about its nightly business eating grass seeds and stuffing them into its cheek pouches. This little hopper has specialized ears, but it's not the external part we see like the bilby, but the inside ear that's the key to their super sense hearing. They have an enlarged eardrum and huge air-filled chambers in the middle ear. This gives them acute sensitivity to sound, especially those at lower frequencies. This little rat may seem like it's had too much caffeine, but there's a good reason for its bizarre behavior. There's a hunter nearby with rat for dinner on its mind. Research has shown that the kangaroo rat's ears are adapted to nocturnal life, allowing them to hear the low-frequency sounds of predators, such as owls' wing beats or a rattlesnake's scales rubbing against the ground. The kangaroo rat senses danger and drums its feet on the ground, and these low-frequency sounds warn its offspring to be on alert. But it also sends a message to the snake that its presence has been detected and that the odds of catching a meal are low. The snake, meanwhile, will continue to wait for an opportune moment, and it uses every sense at its disposal to make sure it will eventually eat. After all, its life depends on it. Rattlesnakes, an iconic North American snake known for its characteristic rattle found at the tip of its tail. As night falls, a hungry rattler will move about looking for a spot to ambush prey. They use their heightened sense of smell to detect food by flicking their tongues in and out. This picks up scent particles and deposits them on the Jacobson's organ, a specialized chemical detecting structure located in the roof of the mouth. Rattlers are also known as pit vipers because they have heat-sensing organs located in pits near their eyes. This heat vision supersense is a useful tool for predators that need to hunt prey in total darkness. The pits allow them to see the heat signature of the prey, the warmth given off by an animal compared to its cooler surroundings, which provides a heat image. With an exceptional sense of smell and supersense heat-seeking vision, it's little wonder the rattlesnake is a formidable nocturnal hunter. Down under, the rattlesnake may have competition for the title of most effective nighttime killer. The cat-sized tiger quoll is a meat-loving marsupial. This voracious hunter eats possums, bandicoots, reptiles, and birds, tracking them down with its superior sense of smell. Like miniature bloodhounds, their movements are slow and deliberate. With nose to the ground, they follow the scent trails of their prey. Once food is detected, they are quick to attack. Razor-sharp canines deliver the killing bite. They're not fussy eaters, and if they sniff an easy meal like a dead wallaby laying around, they will happily chow down. But it's the quoll's sense of smell that may be even more important to their survival. It could actually save them from extinction. In the top end of Australia, the northern quoll population is in rapid decline. An invasion of toxic cane toads is the cause. Northern quolls have a taste for the amphibian, but once eaten, they soon succumb to the poison from the glands on the cane toad shoulders. Researchers are putting them through quoll school by feeding them sausages made of cane toad legs, laced with a chemical to make the quolls feel sick. And it's working. The quolls are turned off their deadly diet. In terms of Antipodean nightmare animals, the quoll keeps good company. Along with its cat-like cousin, the Tasmanian Devil is also a member of the family of flesh-eating marsupials, only much bigger. It is the largest of the carnivorous marsupials. As aggressive, brawling beasts, their ferocious behavior is legendary. During the day, the devil rests in caves or hollow logs, then comes out at night to find food. Like the Quolls, they have a well-developed sense of smell, but are rather clumsy when it comes to actively pursuing prey. They prefer to scavenge on the dead. And it's at dinner time they will often encounter other devils. Jaw wrestling, teeth clashing, loud yowls and screams are all common in territory disputes. But a sense of touch is used here to minimize fighting. Tasmanian devils have long whiskers, not only in the usual whiskery places like the face, but also in clumps far back on the top of the head. Their long whiskers help them forage in the dark. They also help devils space themselves from each other when gathering together at a carcass. If devils' whiskers are not touching each other when they are feeding, they are safely outside of biting range. And with a bite force among the highest recorded for any species, that is something to avoid. With such a super sense resume, it's not the kind of creature you want to come across on an evening stroll. Following on the theme of Halloween frights, another creature that haunts our nightmares, the bat. Vampire movies have a lot to answer for, giving this little creature a bad reputation. But microbats, like the pipistrellus and Mexican free-tailed bats, eat insects, not blood. During the summer, Pipistrella females form maternity colonies where they give birth. These groups can number hundreds of individuals in what is known as a nursery roost. For 3 to 4 weeks, the baby bats are fed solely on their mother's milk. Feeding young costs energy, and research has shown that lactating pipistrelles make 2 foraging trips per night to feed their growing young. With a jerky, erratic flying style, they pursue insects which they eat on the wing. A single pipistrelle can consume up to 3,000 insects in one night. Its phenomenal prowess in aerial hunting is thanks to a special super sense, echolocation. Finding and catching small, quick-moving insects in the pitch black is not easy. Vision is limited in low light, so instead of using their eyes, microbats see with sound. They fire sound waves out into the darkness and listen to the echoes that come back. Using echolocation, the bat can determine where an insect is, how far away it is, and in what direction it is moving. It's a technique humans use to develop sonar navigation systems in the military, using expensive technology. The little bat, of course, just does what comes naturally with its super sense. The senses are the stars on animal super senses, and this episode has been no exception. We've discovered animals use a range of sensory tools to cope with life in the darkness. Living the night shift doesn't stop nocturnal animals using every sensory tactic in the book to survive. So next time you're out there in the dark, watch out for things that go bump in the night. Join us next time on Super Senses to find out more incredible powers of animal perception.